So good morning. The topic for the lecturette is India-Israel Relations. In 2017, India and Israel completed their 25 years of friendship. And the friendship started after the fall of Soviet Union and the end of Cold War. The Indian Prime Minister Narasimha Rao decided to upgrade its relations with Israel at a full ambassador level. And there was also a pressure by the America to go for good relations with Israel after the World War II. In case of agriculture sector, in 2008, India and Israel finalized an agricultural plan for the crops which are native to the Middle East and Mediterranean, and the focus was mainly on olive. After that, 11 lakh trees have been planted in the Rajasthan, especially of the olive trees. And by the end of 2014, Rajasthan produced about 100 tons of olives. In case of cyber security, all the countries in the world know the capability of Israel in the cyber security. And Israel was the first country to detect the ransomware attack. And Israel has infrastructure to listen to the terrorist communication through voice over internet protocol, which is also called as VoIP. And in this regard, India is looking forward for the cooperation of Russia to curb the terrorist activities, especially in the Kashmir Valley and in the north eastern states. In case of intelligence, the RAW was founded by R.N. Kao, who is also called as the Spy Master of India. Prime Minister Indira Gandhi sent him to cultivate the links with the Israel, and it was a countermeasure of the military link between the China, Pakistan, and North Korea. So after that, there was a good support by Israel in the intelligence. And when the Prime Minister Narendra Modi went to G20 summit in London, he was secured by the Israel's agent, MI5, RAW, SPG, and various other intelligence agencies. And Israel played a very important role for securing Prime Minister Narendra Modi. In case of defense, during the Kargil War of 1999, Israel supported Indian Air Force by providing them surveillance system for Jaguar and Mirage squadrons. And also the UAV searcher was given by Israel to India. Recently, there was a Balakot airstrike conducted by the Indian Air Force, and the Spike ATGM was provided by Israel to India. We also procured 3 Falcons airborne early warning and control system by Israel. And the Indian Special Forces in India also use the various weapons like Tavor and various other like Negev LMGs. They all are in Israel made because of their lethality and the range. The need of the hour, I would like to say, is that the joint venture will fulfill the need of India, and India has to invest a lot in the research and development sector, as the Israel give a more focus to the research and development, and at the same time the ready to use technology can be procured by India from the Israel at a short term notice. Thank you.
Good morning everyone. The topic of today's lecture is India-Israel Relations. India and Israel have an extensive economic, military and strategic relationship. Since India established its full diplomatic ties with Israel in 1992, the relation between both the countries have grown at an astonishing pace, and covering a wide range of just issues from defense and homeland security to agriculture and water management, and now education and even outer space. Israel is considered as most advanced country in Southwest Asia and the Middle East in economic and industrial development, and it is a developed country having a highly skilled and educated workforce. Israel achieved self-sufficiency in food production despite having 50% of barren land, and a very interesting fact is that around 3.7% of its workforce produces 97% of own food, which is a very good thing. And moreover, when Israel PM Benjamin Netanyahu visited India in January 2018, then many agreements were signed between both the countries in areas like space, cyber security, air transport, gas and oil sector, research in medicines, electronics, etc. And some areas of cooperation are the defense cooperation, which is boosting Make in India initiative, economic engagement, counter-terrorism and intelligence sharing, and innovation and entrepreneurship, which is highlighted by the power of innovation and global leadership and in research and development spending, as well as agricultural partnership and water conservation, which is the most important prospect of Israel that had tackled its rain deficiency by developing technology solutions for wastewater management, purification, desalination techniques, and water rescue in agriculture and industry. And so the military and strategic ties include the arms trade between both the nations with procurements like Barak missiles and Falcon radar system, Israeli Spike anti-tank missiles, etc. And apart from these, some areas of improvement in the relations include the bilateral trade and investment are not up to the mark. It is just around $4 billion. And the connectivity between two nations is also limited. And the private sector companies are facing difficulties in investment due to huge Chinese investments over there. So friends, I would like to conclude with my opinion that Indian government is currently focusing to just set a precedent in its policy towards the Israel-Palestine issue, as Israel's contribution to India's civil and defense requirement is very immense, and a shift in stance in future may be seen with both the countries. So that's all from me. Thank you.